one of those conversations, right, where I don't have a huge amount of positives to say about TT because this is the 17th place team in the league. Like, I don't want to sugarcoat it too much. I just want to be honest about this. Like, at the end of the day, this is the team at the bottom of the standings. We need to see positive things. We need to see improvements for this team. But straight off of the bat, we're seeing a lot of themes here on what we've seen before. That Caitlyn has been banned against Top Esports 87% of their games so far.
I'm surprised to see the Senna locked in early. I like the Top Esports bans, right? Like, we talked about them wanting to go late game here for TT. Well, a lot of that bridge to the late game is Chieftain. So Jarvan, Rek'Sai taken off board, making sure that he's not going to be comfortable in that early jungle. Tien going to take a strong jungler for himself, and it means that you can go towards things like the Jinx here, right? Get yourself that fine laning phase. You can go towards the Thresh if you want, but certainly when you're kind of eyeing up something like a Senna, Tam Kench for this bottom lane of Puff and Southwind, you can actually go a little bit more aggressive with your support option because you don't have to worry about Jinx being like dove early or being struggling too much underneath the tower.
Interesting choice with the Hecarim here. Oh, wait a second. No way is that a lane Hecarim. Okay, I'm going to wait until lock-ins happen, but interesting to... I was going to say, interesting to see the Hecarim with things like the Lee Sin, things like the Xin Zhao still open and available. But who knows where Top Esports are going with this one at this point.
Yeah.
Is Tahm Kench locked in to deny it from Southwind?
Yeah, and now you can still take the Jinx, right? And JackeyLove will have a phenomenal time on that if he wants to go towards it. JackeyLove has also been a big fan of the Aphelios, so you've still got safety on both regards. TT here, I'm curious to see what they're going to go for the jungle. Like, you still have the Xin Zhao, you still have some of these picks that can do well, but you just can't match the early clear from the Hecarim, and it definitely feels like when Tien gets Hecarim, because you're running Ghost, going for these super early ganks is really strong. So I'm imagining TT are kind of shaking their boots a bit, thinking, look, we need to try and match this early aggression with the Xin Zhao, but keep our lane safe.
Well, Xin Zhao locked in. Inside of Top Esports, who knows where they're going to go next? Honestly, I feel like AD carry might be a solid choice here, like you mentioned the Jinx earlier on, but it doesn't feel like that's the play right now. It feels like they want to match this Twisted Fate, make sure that they can answer whatever plays around the map UCal wants to make, and it will be that Rise locked in for now.
Yeah, I think they're kind of going right. Chances are Jinx and Aphelios will be banned away here, which obviously isn't the best in the world for JackeyLove, but he's still got enough in the tank, right? Like, he's still got the Ezreal that he can play fairly well with. Jhin has been a big pick for him as well. And even if you want to still have that, like, AD carry, JackeyLove has played the Forest. We've seen it pop off in other regions as well with this more crit-orientated build, so that is definitely an option for JackeyLove in this lane too.
Let me just throw something at you here, Dagda. I'm going to throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. Tahm Kench swapped up to top lane instead. Bruiser Tahm Kench up top. You just go Jinx and Thresh for the side of Top Esports.
I would say it if it wasn't patch 12 too, because Tahm Kench got changed where he doesn't have as much healing coming off of the thick skin, and it's now situated where you need to be against two people in the lane to actually get full use out of that. So his top lane has definitely gotten a lot weaker, and especially with things like the Jace and these late game scalers, well, the Camille taken off the board now, but certainly the late third game scalers taken away. I don't think we'll see that. We'll have to see exactly what the plan is though. No AD carries banned, so the Jinx still open here, so JackeyLove's just going to take that one for himself. And now you're kind of looking, going, hey, we want something that we can play around in this top half of the map. The Camille taken off the board, the Jack's gone as well. There is an opportunity for Renekton if you want, but I don't really feel like Renekton's the play that you want to go for here in the top side.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Now, I mentioned this on broadcast the other day. Blitzcrank, real good against Tahm Kench support. I'm just saying, it is a lane counter. The Grave's going to be locked in, so that's the blind pick for that top lane. And we'll see if they... I want them to commit to the Blitzcrank so badly. It's so much fun to watch.
Farming Blitzcrank with the Senna as well. Is that really the way you want to go? I mean, it would help with the pick, right? I feel like it's going to be the Karma. The Karma isn't as bad here. We've seen it before, actually, well, EDG yesterday, where they kind of struggle with the engage with the Karma Sen in the bot lane. Just because you don't have a huge amount of engage coming through. The TF can alleviate that somewhat, but that's a trend coming in for Wayward. It's just like, cool. We're going to go and match you in the 1-3-1, and we're just going to dominate the Graves matchup in the top lane.
And we've seen this. we've seen the Tryndamere versus Graves matchup.
It's not good.
I'm not gonna lie, it ain't pretty. It really ain't pretty. It's a painful matchup to watch, honestly. If you're a bit sensitive, if you don't like gore, I would avert your eyes, maybe turn the stream off, because it's not going to be pretty. This is a matchup that's incredibly difficult for Graves, and last time we saw it, the Graves went like 0-5-0. We'll see how it's going to pan out. I believe it was Rich playing the Graves, and he got absolutely decimated.
Yeah, by Zika.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, against IG. It was brutal to witness. And Wayward is he's the player that needs to step in here and make a name for himself, right? This is a guy that's relatively fresh. He's on a team with a bunch of legends. He needs to stand out from the crowd if he wants to maintain his position. Because remember, the guy behind him on the roster right now is Zoom. So you're going to have a consistently pretty great performance to maintain your spot on the roster. This matchup will certainly help him do that.
And it feels like this is a matchup where he's going to be playing around quite a bit by TN, right? Like, this for top esports is very much about, hey, we want to try and play through side lanes, have Jackie Love just farming up in mid, and then we can see if we can play through these strong advantages. But you are looking at the opposite side, like the Twisted Fate going to be there to try and alleviate some of the pressure for Graves' top side. Maybe even try and pick off this Tryndamere early and get Graves into a position where maybe this Tryndamere isn't able to take over as much as we expect.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is one of the things about Tryndamere, right? Ultimately, you can go way too far with this pick. You can dive way too deep and end up getting ruined for it. This is the kind of champion that we'll often see proxying waves and such like. So, Chieftain has a potential opportunity there to try and punish before that level 6 mark. But post 6, it becomes real difficult to ever make anything happen. That said, though, again, we've got Ucal in this mid lane on the Twisted Fate. Plenty of chances to try and get out on the map. But when you lock in that Twisted Fate, immediately we saw the answer come out from top esports, right? This Night Rise coming out in the mid lane. It feels like Ucal's going to have a hard time trying to get out onto the map to influence the side lanes.
Yeah, Rise is incredibly strong against the Twisted Fate, just being able to shove in so effectively. And honestly, maybe this is the game where we start to see a little bit more of those early roams from Night. Like, we talk about him recently not having a huge amount, but back when we were talking about top esports, maybe, I think it was spring 2021, they started doing a little bit more roaming with Night, but Invade coming through for TT here.
Yeah, top esports gonna hang around. They're willing to contest this blue. It's not actually reset just yet. Southwind the target. I think they thought the top esports had run away, but absolutely not. Now they're on the wrong side of the map. Southwind trying to escape with his life. Pufflow and HP as well. Oh my days, it could not have got any worse for TT to start the game. Puff, 1 HP, nowhere to run. I think he wants an execute, but I'm not sure he's gonna find it. Gets a bit of movement speed, but he's chopped down by the horsey. And top esports already with an almost 1,000 gold lead.
Remember what we said about those high risk, low reward plays, yeah? This is kind of one, right? Like, stealing with blue buff, but the fact that they didn't even ward the bush, like, Southwind just walks directly into everyone here on top esports, and now you are so far behind. Now, this isn't the traditional, like, draft that we see coming through from TT, where they try and play for these, like, late game skaters, right? And the big team fight. This is more of a split push comp, but split push comps don't really like to be behind. And you've given 2 kills over to TN. Any chance you had of Chieftain being able to control this jungle matchup, it's just been tossed out the window.
And also, on top of that, like, you're talking about this being a split push. Oh, no, hang on. Knight's going real aggressive in the mid lane. Chieftain is here, though. Knight in a 1v2 right now. But Chieftain is only level 2. Doesn't actually have the way to kill Knight. Flash away from Knight in the meantime, but nicely done here by Chieftain, at least to answer somewhat. But I don't know why Chieftain is checking the chickens. You're against Hecarim. Of course he's finished chickens at this point. We'll finish off that red buff. Chieftain, you're a level down, mate. You don't have any health. Just go home. Go back to your jungle.
He's a level down, camps down. Like, it's 3:15 and he's just finished Scuttle. Like, but that's his 3rd camp that he's now done. Like, he is so far behind his clear. Whereas when you look at, like, Tien, right? No, he hasn't done the blue, but he is firing through these jungle camps incredibly quickly. He'll reset now with a massive gold lead and then can look to take over the map. And I like that he's trying to, like, play around this bot side to a certain extent, because, like, you can see here that Puff and Southwind are going to start getting this shove in bot. If Tien is just reset, you can try and play off that shove in bot.
I have to say, I'm struggling to watch this.
Oh.
Oh no, there's a catch in the bottom side.
Oh,
So
God.
Jackalope getting damage onto Southwind here. Good proc from Puff onto 2. He's getting souls for all of these trades, and no, someone is
So,
having to be
you're about
used.
to say how positive you were for CT. Go on ahead.
I don't think I was. I really don't think I was. I was saying I'm struggling to watch this. The follow-up statement was going to be, it's not even top esports outplaying them. TT have been outplaying themselves this entire game. Every mistake that's happened, everything that's gone wrong so far, it's been TT initiating it. The invade was them, and then Chieftain, goes into the mid lane, and then follows it up by trying to go into the chickens. He's going to return once more. He wants to make a play in the mid lane. Knight, no flash, remember, because of the play earlier on. Playing towards that bot side where his jungler is, but the flash gold card is there. Surely a pick here. His Knight low on HP, knocked up and finished off by a card. Ucal grabbing himself a kill.
And that's actually pretty big for TT. Look, whatever about these early mistakes, this is how you start to bring it back. Play through mid, you know that you want Ucal to be opened up on the map. Well, killing Knight at the 5-minute mark means he's going to miss out on a wave. He's going to be a little bit behind on his level 6, whereas Ucal now can shove in. He'll hit the level 6 in about the wave in a bit's time. Should be good with TNs here.
Yeah, Ucal, you've had an opportunity there, but then he's overpushed. He's overstayed. Gold card will keep him alive. But Tien can stop this wave from crashing now, so Knight can arrive back in that mid lane. Reduce some of the advantage that the original gank got for the side of Ucal.
Yeah, and I mean, that's actually pretty big because Knight doesn't lose out on any of that experience, which is pretty crucial, especially as he comes back. So now he can get the push in the mid lane pretty handily. I might actually try and look for some sort of early play. Again, though, like, Tien has gone for the early boots, but we haven't actually seen him trying to, like, make anything happen just yet. It's kind of been a case of, look, cleared it through my first farm. Now I want to go and look at this top side. He's got Rise, who's about to hit that level 6. Try and make the plays happen here, because this Tryndamere, if he can get rolling, there's just nothing TT can do to stop that side lane.
I am really curious about this top lane matchup, because I don't know the Graves Tryndamere matchup super well. And it feels like maybe Rich overstepped a few times. I'm curious what the scoreline's going to look like at the end of this laning phase, because New so far actually up in CS, doing a good job of trading effectively. But an invade on this bottom side, Tien moving in, but there are no camps here. So nothing will come of this, aside from maybe just stopping Puff ever returning to that bottom lane. You got Southwind solo farming as the support, and Puff has to take the long way around here. Blast Cone to make sure he can go via his tier 2. Knows that he's in danger there as Tien his way into the Tri-Brush. Just escape from Southwind, who drops that ward, just maintains a bit of control on this bottom side.
Just to come back to your question, the reason that the Tryndamere matchup works so well is that, like, the way Graves tries to play around the lane, right, is like push you in effectively, try and look for these quick trades where he's got the healing, as you can see there, and it just makes it that he's able to out-sustain you pretty much at every step of the way while having insanely high armor. But the thing about Tryndamere is Tryndamere's sustain is just as good, right? He's got the Doran shield, he's going to be able to pop his Q to get that healing back as well. So it makes it really hard for the Graves to actually shove the Tryndamere in the lane. And then when he does get to the later portion of the game, the all-in from Tryndamere is insane. Like, you have a very heavy burst damage coming out from the Graves, but Tryndamere just ignores a lot of that because he's got the ultimate, and his chase down potential being able to slow the Graves and having the dash up more efficiently than the Graves as well means that it's impossible for the Graves to get away, and kind of shuts down what Graves wants to do, because the big thing about the Graves is, look, Graves likes to shove in like this, try and chip away at your turret. He automatically pushes the wave because of his auto attacks, but if you create this long lane for the Tryndamere to chase you down, you're just in a bad spot as Graves.
Yeah, and also just when you're pushing up to that turret, you miss position slightly, that W slow comes down, you're not escaping. There is no way out of that one, and both top laners having Ghost, remember, so the odds of them influencing the rest of the map, pretty low. This is a 1v1 lane up there. They are going to be duking it out for a long time in this one, and so far, New having the advantage. First strike of the game, though, going the way of top esports while we were looking at the top lane. Wayward, not sure if he was going to go for the all-in there. Got the slow for a second, but did not commit in the end.
Yeah, he's looking for it. Once you have level 8, level 9 hits, you're going to be a reasonably good spot to go for the all-in. Honestly, as soon as you kind of hit the ultimate, you're good to go, right? Because you just can't be burst out by New, and it's kind of difficult for New to have a lot of sustained damage because of the kit that Graves has. Like, he's got to look for the reloads, and it gives the time for Wayward to try and play around that one.
Arc has moved around the map. Destiny was used here.
Yeah.
I guess just to get back to lane, I would assume at this point. Does Chieftain get spotted? Mark and Knight moving in here. Jackie Love has moved over as well, so this is going to be a full 5v5 at this point in the game. Jackie Love, level 6. Puff's still only level 5, so we have an AD carry ultimate on the side of top esports. The TT cannot match. Gold card blocked in for you, Cal, but he won't find a target, at least for the time being. Mark steps on up. 2,000 on the Herald. Dagda, we're going to see a 5v5. Wayward goes in, spinning through the enemy team. Has his ultimate available, so he will survive for the time being. Southwind, the first casualty. Chieftain flashes away over the wall, keeps himself alive, but everybody on top esports still going strong. Wayward gets the Herald and a Realm Warp out to safety. Top esports, that was beautiful.
Really well played. And top esports just with the better positioning means they can take the fight. And now you've got the Rift Herald, more kills going their way, and they can teeter on back down to the bot side to catch the wave.
Really nicely done by top esports. And I feel like TES never really properly committing to this, right? Kind of toying with the idea, sparring a bit on the front line, but never actually going in. They wanted their Herald. They knew the objective they were looking for. And I like that restraint.
Yeah, I mean, look, they go in here, but again, like, they're separating out TT, right? New is off against Knight, that's fine, but Wayward's able to stay alive so long, and they've corralled TT into a spot that they just really don't want to be in, where Jackie Love can sit on the back line, get a ton of poke and damage off. You've just got a beefier front line in the Hecarim, because he's already got the Ruby Crystal picked up for himself at that stage. The Tam Kench as well can absorb a bunch of damage. Wayward just doesn't die, so he can take a whole heap as well. It's like really difficult to just chip your way through the front line of top esports in that fight.
And I think crucially as well, when you look at the way that this game is panning out so far, like there's a huge goal difference between AD carries just because you're running a center. Like center does not do well in these early skirmishes, generally speaking, especially 3-6. Whereas Jackie Love already had that noon club to work with, already had a gold lead individually just because it's against that center. But then, like you're saying, massive front line in the form of TN because, well, you gave him 2 free kills at the start of the game, so yeah, he's gonna be massive.
The other one as well.
Behind TN here, looks for an opportunity onto the horse, but that's a real quick horse, so I don't think it's happening.
Well, I think in that fight as well, we saw some of the big mistakes that we see oftentimes when we get Twisted Fates in the LPL. Like, when you are a Twisted Fate, right, you're really good at making picks. They can set up well for team fights, but oftentimes we'll see something like a Galio or the Rise being paired against the Twisted Fate. And both these champions do what the TF does, but just are better in team fights, right? Like, Rise has a ton of AoE damage. He's got that same sort of lockup that he can use. Galio has that big AoE CC whenever he joins into these fights. So you don't really want to be looking for fights whenever you have a Twisted Fate up against these mid laners. You're more looking to go, right, how can we try and cross map, right? Like, if TN is committed to the Rift Herald, right, we're going to use the Destiny to get back down to the bot side because we know that, say, Knight in this position would have to play towards the Rift Herald. So let's make him play bot. But that's not what we see a lot of the time, and it's a big mistake for TT in this situation.
Got a play coming bot side from top esports here, but Chieftain around, looks like top esports back away. Their eyes are on the Drake, I think. They were maybe looking for a pick before starting the Drake off, but here, just crack on with this one. UCal still in that mid lane. Unless we have a fight, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Chieftain will actually pull the trigger on this. I want to talk a little bit about this top lane again, Dagda, because we're getting to the point now where Tryndamere is starting to win out these trades, and Wayward is the one that picked up the Herald. If New leaves that top lane for just a moment, it's gonna be curtains, and now Southwind knocked up, ignited as well, and now just gets gobbled up. It's an easy pickup for Jackie Love and this Tam Kench. He used it as an aggressive support. We talked about the top lane. Wayward flashing forward, needs a spinning slash. One more E will do the trick, and Wayward gets the solo kill. He's got a Herald as well to work with. He can even proxy a wave.
And I honestly feel sorry for the top laners that have to go into this situation, because every time you know that it's just coming. This kill is going to happen. And you can even see New like grabbing his head, face palming the second it happens. It's the exact same when Rich got killed by Zika. There's just very little that you can do. And now Wayward sitting here, he saw Chieftain bot side, so cool. He's just going to completely take this tower off of one kill against New.
One kill, and now there's a 2,000 gold difference between the top laners. New was winning in CS, New was winning the lane, but there's nothing you can do. I mean, what?
Just they last so long. Like, the ult just takes so long, and then the entire time he's wailing on you, he's generating the heal as well. It's just obnoxious to deal against. And now Gale Force completed for Wayward. So actually going instead of away from like the hull breaker that we've seen a little bit, and still having that same impact that you can get in team fights from kind of the Trinity that we're seeing a lot at Worlds, where you end up going from this and then into like Navori quick blades and that kind of stuff. So yeah, new, unfortunately, now that you have no flash, no ghost, and Trinity just has more spins to wins, it kind of gets a bit hard.
Yeah, it's definitely not getting any easier for New at this point in the game. And crucially, we look at our top lane, massive goal difference in favor of Wayward. With Tian ahead in the jungle, Jackie Love ahead. Mark even close as well, and Yukal's been caught in that mid lane. Gold card is way too late to do anything, but Chieftain answers the play. Mark is here with the Devour if Tian needs it. And a good rotation here from TT to match the play towards this mid lane from top of Esports.
Yeah, they just about managed to get there. I'm surprised that they actually managed to get there in time, right? Because when you look at the vision control for TT, it hasn't been there to Mark now. But Chieftain.
Chieftain's just getting wailed on by Jackie Love and Mark here. One more auto, and Jackie Love gets the reset. And now he wants a little more realm warp in from the rest of the squad as Yukal is just chunked through. And Puck will fall as well. He's eradicated. Top Esports, they have no mercy.
Is this where you start singing Carry On My Wayward Son? Because that was a really nice gank just coming in between the two towers, just about able to pick up the kill on the backside. Like, top Esports, beautiful collapse there. And now you're looking, right? 15 minutes into the game, 2 dragons, a 5,000 gold lead, Nux dragons in 3 minutes time, and your big carries that you wanted to be situated, right? The Tryndamere for your top side, destroying the matchup. Jackie Love is just wailing on Chieftain in this fight, and he picks up his 3rd kill off the back of this play. You've got Knight who's able to just TP in as well with the Realm Warp. Oh, it's all just beautiful.
I love that the fight starts with literally Jackie Love just A-clicking and just leaving it. That's good. I'll just stand here and just let Jinx do the rest. The auto attacks will finish it off. Now Wayward is like, you know what? I kind of like that first Herald. I might do that again. Knight getting ganked to the bottom side, though. Maybe an opportunity. Maybe an answer for TT. 2nd time Knight is caught by this Chieftain Yukal combo. And at least that's something for TT. That's 2 kills now. Both of them the same situation. Yukal with the gold card on tonight. The follow-up from Chieftain. New, not having a fun time in the top lane. He's just not.
This is just, you can't blind pick Graves anymore, especially when you've already got the Rise picked up. Now Tien hovering behind the tower. This could be a little greedy, I'm not going to lie. I don't think you want to go for this. Wayward hiding in the fog of war, though. You can see Chieftain checking his wolves there. Knows that Wayward is taking.
Oh, I feel like top Esports are going to fight this. I can feel it in my soul.
Southwind
and Puff hanging around in the mid lane.
Oh,
Tien
God.
coming from behind. Puff, you are not long for this world, my friend. Knocked back and finished off easily by Jackie Love. And you can see it coming a mile off. And it's just so easy for this Hecarim to just waltz under the towers.
That's 2 towers, right? The top tower just fallen there in for Wayward. Mid lane now going to die to this charge from the Rift Herald. They're just taking over, and top Esports, like, look at the vision control they've set up in this bot side jungle now as well, right? They are well aware that Dragon's at 5 seconds, and who can test it? Like, anyone on TT face checks and they die. Like, Rise is just getting this bot lane turret as Tien takes the Dragon. This has gotten so far out of control for TT.
Yeah, and this is not slowing down anytime soon, and I kind of want to take a positive here for top Esports. Yes, they are against the 17th place team in the league. I'm not unaware of that fact. But this is a top Esports that is being decisive. They know what they want. They know how they're playing. And that is a massive improvement on any series we've seen from TES all split long. Chieftain is just going to get rinsed here by Wayward. Oh my days. There's nothing he can do. And now Nu wants to try and answer. There is no ult available for Wayward, but he's still got flash. Like, he's fine.
Oh, they TP'd in for it and everything, and they won't even get the tower, right? Like, top Esports had already been on the reset, so you've got to back away here as TT. Tien might even grab him.
Oh my lord. I just had a heart attack on behalf of Nu. Sorry, I was real worried for him. I'm surprised that Wayward is still on the top side of the map, though, honestly. Like, he's already taken 2 towers. I would expect him to be moved to the bottom side.
You can see a lot of the issues in this, though, that we highlighted from TT at the start of the day, right? Like, falling behind in the early stages, not actually able to get to their late game, and a huge amount of that is, like, the high-risk, high-reward plays that we've seen them go for. Chieftain not really been able to track Tien, and Wayward just getting this counter pick on the top side and getting no attention at all from, honestly, either jungle, but it worked out pretty well on top Esports because, as you can see, Wayward's already scaling. Navori quick play picked up for himself as well. The chase down potential is at an all-time high for top Esports.
It is, and Tien just charges across the entire TT squad. He's still full health. Shields now coming out across the squad as well. It's a Dawning Shadow to do a bit of work, but not enough work as Wayward just 2 shots puff, and now New, the next target on the chopping block. Another easy fight for top Esports as Wayward tanks so many tower shots. It's just too easy.
It's a 10,000 gold lead at the 20-minute mark. Like, that is insane. Top Esports have dismantled.
Oh, no! Yuko!
Jesus, where'd he go?
He
Where'd he
literally
go?
got one shot. It was like a crit with an E at the same time, and he vanished off the face of the rift.
Like, usually it's pretty good if you hit like the 26-minute mark, right? And you've got like 2 items coming through. We're looking at not even 20 minutes, and you've got Kraken Slayer Rapid Fire for Jinx. You got the Thimble Winter already completed for Rise. The Vori quick plays for the Tryndamere. And Tien, like, he doesn't care. He can just run underneath these towers because he knows they've just got so much damage that everyone on TT's got to run for the hills.
And I just love it. You know, Wayward is about to complete a 3rd item at 20 minutes. And I just want to reiterate that this is a really expensive build for Tryndamere. And also, you can't make this fight. He started this.
That is even worse than the Valkyries. You don't even have a way out with that one. Why would you think that you can fight the Tryndamere?
Don't know. I really don't know. But, well, it's happened. It has happened. Now we're at the 20-minute mark, so top Esports are just going to take Baron. And realistically, they know TT. Even if everyone's here, even if they're full information, there's no universe they can contest this one. I mean, New can maybe get the tower in the bottom side.
No, maybe. Yeah, but I actually think they might lose off of that because you've got mid and top pushing in the opponent's favor. Baron upgrades, Puff is dead. Like, what do you do?
This is what we were talking about at the start of the day. Puff in the late game regularly getting caught out of position. Just getting punished for it over and over again. Now, the re-engage from TT. Jaculov saved by Mark. Chieftain going to be rooted on the front line. Tien just dives in. He's not afraid of absolutely anything at this point. And Wayward charges forward again. Wayward is a monster on this Tryndamere. Not a singular death and 8 devastating kills against TT. That's going to be game. In under 22 minutes, top Esports have dismantled Thundertop.
It may not be the turret or the Nexus going down, but this game was long over before the 22-minute mark. And as you say, I mean, Wayward, it's going to be a pretty nice KDA for himself over the last few games because this one is looking pretty damn clean. And we said already, like, the items coming through like crazy. There's so much available for top Esports. And even if that fight looked incredibly messy, still no one from top Esports goes down. Like, you'll see it here, right? Like, Wayward is diving completely solo onto the Nexus turrets as TT look for resets. And the rest of top Esports just follow up. They're like, yeah, this seems like a great job. Let's dive 3 different turrets at once to see if we can make it happen. And it does. It works. They manage to get the kills because Tien is like, hey, I'm tanky as all hell. I can run in here. It really doesn't matter.
And I love that because this is what
dead.
top Esports were always... Oh, no, this is another thing. Southwest dead. All right, well, you tried, guys. You tried. Wayward now just going to absolutely annihilate Chieftain. The realm warp in for a little bit more as Puff desperately tries to flee, but there is no escape. Knight sweeps up that kill for himself. And my goodness, we have 4 flawless KDAs across the entire lineup for top Esports.
Wait, no.
The only person to have died is died.
We have flawless KDAs on the opposite side as well. 030, 060, 050. They're pretty good, you know?
At least it looks clean. We'll give them that. It's a clean game for TT. Good job, guys. Okay, well, that's going to be game. Top Esports. If anyone was wondering whether this one was going to be close, I suggested that maybe this was closer than the names would suggest. I was very wrong. This was not close, Dagda. This was an absolute stop.